Hey, Viola Rules here. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. So, Adrian just told us about her quote-unquote crime, so we have to figure out how to, I guess, convey to her that she actually didn't commit a crime, I suppose. Let's formulate my plan. I guess the best thing to do would just be to press everything, because what she said didn't necessarily have anything that I could see that could be presented to us. So let's just press everything. But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight, unless somebody orchestrated that. You could kill somebody and then just wreck the room to make it look like there was a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say that you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf is a part of the Jammin' Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. Okay, that's a new piece of information that we didn't know before. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice. Right? When I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan. Yeah, how do I get out of here without being implicated, I guess, is what was going through her head. What is this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. Okay, seems a bit presumptuous, but go on. I knew because, one, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world, but Matt didn't know that. He didn't even know that there was a press conference, but I guess you didn't know that? So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. I get the feeling that somebody told you to say that. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. And to make sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. So when did Lotta show up? I guess sometime after this, I guess. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. But why? I don't think you needed the button if you already had the knife. So you were the one to stab the victim with that knife. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then, when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Onguard's Hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? Not when Phoenix Wright is involved, no. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. I'm guessing you're talking about Lotta being in the hallway, snooping. An inconvenience? There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. Bet my spikes? There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. Okay, so Miss Oldbag was there too. That's Miss Oldbag for you. I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume, right? The one that you had prepared for Juan. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is the secret? It's a secret, Judge. That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we've heard enough. So, after that, you went back to Mr. Engarde's room and planted the button? Into Matt's Hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. Okay. My word. What does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Engarde. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should under no circumstances confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. And of course, Francisca being Francisca, she was trying to throw you under the bus for a victory. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right? It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... No buts. Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That's all. Court is adjourned for today. It's weird seeing the judge chair empty like that. Today's trial, it's over. And I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright, I remembered just now. I found this in the room that day. Oh, really? The room? Yes, the victim's room. What other room are we talking about? That day? Wow, you guys are slow. Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. Well, it's a good thing you've been playing with it this whole time. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card, if you ask me. Add it to the court record, please. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Witness, that card. Give it to me. Hurry. Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This... I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. Geez, somebody got riled up. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen such an emotional Edgeworth in my entire life. That card, what in the world is it? And what does it mean? I guess we'll find out. To be continued. Okay, so we've seen that card before, too, when Maya was making her escape from being kidnapped. So that's gonna be the connection there. So we're back in our law office. Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! There, Pearls. I can't take it anymore. Look, it'll be alright. Everything may still work out. The condition was that we had to get a not guilty verdict. And so far, the kidnapper has kept his word and hasn't hurt Maya. And he won't, because Mr. Engard hasn't been given a guilty sentence yet. Cheer up, we don't have time to stand around crying. We have to get going. Sure. You're right. Mystic Maya is in much more pain than I am. Yes, that's right, so... Hey, you guys! Glad I caught you, pal! Mr. Scruffy Detective! Oh boy, looks like Detective Gumshoe has been dubbed Mr. Scruffy Detective in Pearl's book now. It's just plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe to you now, and I came to talk to you, pal. But we're kind of busy right now? Okay. So, what do you want to talk about? Future and Edgeworth. We'll talk to Gumshoe in the next episode. If you guys enjoyed this one, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you all next time.